Hi guys, this is Mr. C and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're viewing this channel for the first time, I encourage you to smash the subscribe button. And if you're already an existing subscriber, you know what to do. Leave your comment in the comment section at the end of this video, and you can also tell me what you think about today's topic, which is how you can maximize the possibilities of you to land a job at the end of your studies here in Hungary. And the job can be from any part of the European countries, that's the Schengen area. So guys, this is how it usually goes. When you arrive in Hungary, the first experience you have is a culture shock. Okay, so you experience a culture shock, and the severity of your culture shock can be depending on several factors, such as where you are from, in terms of the country you are from, your religion, your beliefs, and your perspective about the world. So when you arrive here, you begin to see different things that are not usual to you, things that are not common or you would not agree to. And then during the first year, you also begin to adjust. And adjustments could be in different areas as well, depending on where you are from and also your culture and your beliefs as well. For example, in the case of Nigerians, we have this very high tone, or let's say we speak in this very high tone in Nigeria, and that could be attributed to the fact that in Nigeria, you have to talk really loud for someone to really like listen to you. Okay, so when you arrive in Hungary, that is one of the first things that you will try to adjust on. It can also be the way you dress and the way you carry yourself and your perspective, or let's say your orientation about who you are. You may begin to make such modifications about your life, and these things start happening in your first year. Okay, and then towards the end of your first year, you may start putting yourself out there, or the start of your second year, you've made some certain adjustments and now you start putting yourself out there. So what do I mean by putting yourself out there? Well, you start going to places, you start visiting towns, cities, Budapest. You may even have the thought of traveling to other parts of the European country, like say Paris. You want to go to Germany, you want to go to Netherlands, and this is exactly how it plays out. And you begin to travel even locally in Hungary. You go to places like Szeged, you go to Budapest, you go to Pécs, you go to Lake Balaton. These are very famous places in Hungary. And of course, this is the part of your first and second year. You begin to put yourself out there. You begin to, let's say, gather experiences. You begin to make experience. You begin to go to clubs, to party. And these things take considerable amount of time. And it's exactly what this video is about. It's about how to prepare yourself to land a very good job, or let's say to land a job at the end or before the end of your studies, before the end of your degree here in Hungary. Because what I've observed and what usually by default happens with every student who arrive here in Hungary is that they start these preparations at the end of their semester instead of at the beginning of their semester. And at the end of the semester, what you discover is that you don't really have the time to make certain preparations anymore because you've exhausted your time already. You've exhausted your time because at the early stage of your semester, you believe that you have a lot of time in your hands. And in fact, you don't even think about the end of your semester at this time. You're thinking about how to travel to Paris, how do you go to France, how do you go to Germany, Netherlands, and how do you utilize the freedom that the Schengen residence permit offers you or presents to you. And so you begin to travel and you begin to take student jobs. You begin to do a whole lot of things, meet people, pursuing relationships. Now, personally, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing to travel or to pursue relationships or to do other things for pleasure or for convenience whatsoever. So I personally, I went to Prague. I think that was my second year or so. I was in Prague and I really enjoyed myself. Like I spent 3 days in Prague. It was a very good time of my life. And I mean, you should travel. I can't say you should not travel because that is part of the experience that you're going to build on. So now, as I said, the first is a culture shock, and then you begin to adjust, and then you put yourself out there. You start making friends, maybe with the Hungarian people, and making new friends among, let's say, the foreign student and so on. And you begin to build your experience here, and you start enjoying Europe. And that is the thing about Europe, is you don't know, like, you think you have time until you completely run out of time. Until you completely run out of time. As a student, you think 3 years, or let's say 4 years, depending on the degree you're pursuing, is a lot of time, until you right there in the fourth or in the third year, and now you have no single time. You're running helter skelter. You're trying to put everything in one box. You're trying to achieve different goals in one time. And then in your second year, of course, you're already working on your thesis. Okay, you're already working on your thesis, or you're already taking your first internship. Okay, and I call that all in the box. This happens in the second year. You're already going out there, taking your thesis. Now you start having tough semesters, and you start, let's say, applying for jobs depending on your skill level at this time. You start applying for jobs, and what you're going to discover as you start applying for jobs in your second year, let's say the end of your second year, is that you're going to receive a whole lot of rejections. The company's recruiters, like the hiring manager, you're going to be rejected, like, big time, and that is going to cause you awareness. You're going to targeting rejection. Like, you'll be throwing out resume, and at this time your resume is a complete disaster, and you have no idea about it. And now, after rejections, I'm talking from the perspective of a computer science student, okay, of an IT student. So you can be in medicine, you can be in nursing, you can be in arts and creative design, you can be in engineering. It doesn't matter. You're going to have rejections, and then you start working on projects. But at the end of your second semester, like, you don't have the time anymore to build a sound project, especially if you're in the IT degree program. You don't have that time, because your lecturers are going to be bombarding you with a whole lot of coursework, with a whole lot of, you have lots of projects from your subject, from your classes, that you won't even have the time, the leisure, to build personal projects. Okay, and now in the last year, which you're going to be in your first semester, in the last year, you begin to prepare for your exams. In Hungary, we have final exam. This is not the exams for the semester itself. This is a final state exam. You begin to prepare for your final exams. You begin to prepare for your exams from the semester, and you have this awareness that you're already out of time. And this is exactly what I don't want you guys to experience, and it is the purpose of this video today, because I'm going to tell you guys how you can prepare for the end in the beginning. Okay, and now you begin to have regrets, because you now acknowledge, whether you like it or not, that you've whiled away your time, that you've used your time in the least productive way, like you've not taken advantage of your 3 years or your 2 years, that you've thrown them all out, and now you're out of time and you don't know what to do. And at this last, during the last days of your degree program, of your studies, is exactly when you begin to apply for jobs again, but it's already too late. And now you begin to pursue certifications. If you're one of the smart people, now you realize that your degree alone is not going to be enough for you to secure an entry-level job, because thanks to AI, now entry-level job is the new 2 to 3 years experience. So as a fresh grad out of university with your degree, man, it's really difficult to land a job. So you have these realizations, and now you begin to pursue certification. You begin to take courses online, but it's already too late. So, my dear brothers and sisters, how do you increase your job prospects so that you can land a job anywhere in Europe or in Hungary, even before the end of your semester? Well, the truth is that you have to start specialization on time. And this is the realization that I got, that really broke me down, is that at my second semester, towards the end of my second semester, that was when I realized that having a degree program alone is not enough. I need to have something more than a degree program, something that is tangible, something that can speak for itself, something that can speak loudly than the write-up on your resume. Because when recruiters look at your resume, they are looking for specification, a skill that you can offer. And if you just submit your resume, which is very broad, you're just out of grad, like, you're going to have a whole lot of rejections. I have a whole lot of rejection that I don't think I'm going to include in this video. So what's up? You start specialization right on time, and you should start pursuing certification in your first year, and this can be in your first semester or in your second semester. Now, for people who are not familiar with IT, maybe you like your first exposure to computers or bits or binaries just in the university the first semester, it doesn't matter. Pick a course, pick a specialization, and buy courses that offer you the opportunity to learn a specialized skill, and at the end of the courses try to take an exam. For example, there are different certificates that you can pursue depending on your degree program. Okay, there are different certificates, but the most important thing is that you start early so that you have time to master the skill, so that you have time to understand the terminologies relating or from these skills, and you have time to practice as well. So I'm going to explain from the IT, the computer science perspective. So as a computer science student, maybe you don't know how to write program, you don't know how to write the code. That's completely fine. You can pick a course in Udemy or any other platform that offer this kind of service, and you pick, let's say, for example, AWS, okay, Amazon Web Services. So you can pick the foundational courses, and you start from your first semester. You start learning about AWS. You can also pursue certifications like the Cisco certifications, okay, or let's say Azure certifications, and you start from your first semester. So you notice that as you begin to learn these courses, you're going to catch up from the courses from your classes in the university. So as you begin to learn the terminology, what programming is, what is a what is an integer, what is a boolean, and what is this and that, everything is going to start coming together, and you find that at the end of your semester, if you follow up this in the right way, this plan the right way, you may already have a certification. Let's say if you decide that let's say if you went for networking, you already have a networking certificate, a Cisco networking certificate. So this places you in a far more better position than a graduate who just have a degree or certificate. And before the end of your semester, you discover that you have more job opportunities than a regular graduate with no specialization and no certificate at all. So this very act itself is going to help you to secure a job at the end of your degree, instead of trying to do these things at the end of your degree. You start at the beginning of your degree and you start pursuing certification. And it doesn't matter if you're into medicine. There are also certifications in medicine like the USML, United States Medical License Examination. You can take this exam and you will obtain the certificate, which allows you to work, I believe, anywhere in the world. You can also pursue, if you're into nursing, ANCC certifications, American Nurses Credentialing Center. You pass the exam, you get a certificate, you can land the job more easily. So for engineering students, you can pursue certificates like FE, Professional Certificates, Fundamentals of Engineering. And if you are into arts and creative fields, you can pursue certificates like Adobe Certified Professional and Certified Graphic Designer AIGA. So there are various certifications that you can pursue depending on your degree program. And if you're asking questions like, how do I know the certificate to pursue earlier on? It's simple. You just go on Google and type entry level certification for medicine, entry level certifications for IT, entry level certification in engineering, and you see a whole lot of certifications that you can pursue. Now, guys, this is exactly how to plan for the end of your study right in the beginning. And if you want to really plan better, you have to start structuring your time, what time you can devote to your hobbies, what time you can devote to learning these new skills, and what time you can devote to practicing as well. And I'm going to tell you something that may come to you as a surprise, or you may not really agree on. So I can say it's greatly opinionated. I said your certification that you're going to obtain, it's far more useful to you than your degree certificate. Yeah, it's far more useful to you than your degree certificate. And when you get closer to the end of your studies in Europe, that is when you realize that the immigration is brutal and you don't want to be here, or at the end of your studies without any idea of how you're going to extend your residency, which of course you have the options of continuing your studies, which is going to cost you more money, especially if you're self-financing your studies. It's going to cost you more to further your education. Or you can decide to go to other European countries, which by itself is not really a solution, because even if you go to Germany, you still have to pay for tuition fee, you still have to live there, and Germany also comes with its own requirements, with its own requirement. For example, you may have to learn the German language, and you still have to be good at something to easily land a job. So, how do you make this reality? How do you make this reality? You have to start on time, my dear. You really have to start on time. You really have to utilize. You really have to make the best use of your time. Immediately you arrive Hungary, you need to understand that you're living here. Your residency is on a very limited time, and the moment you're close to the end of your degree program, you may like just put it at the back of your mind that the immigration knows that you are approaching the end of your studies, and you may only get as much as 2 weeks extension after the end of your studies to remain in Hungary. And that 2 weeks is usually for you to participate in your graduation ceremony. And after that, you'll be expected to leave. Of course, you have other option, which is the 9 months job search residence permit. And when you take that 9 months job search residence permit, you cannot convert, listen very carefully, you cannot convert that residence permit to any other type of residence permit. That means you may not be able to apply for study permits. You can, but you have to go back to Nigeria or wherever country you are from. You have to go back to your country. You will not be able to apply for, let's say, entrepreneur residence permit if you want to start up a business. So there are very huge limitations when you go down that route, and you have only the space of 9 months which you're going to use in a very great pressure, because the 9 months by itself is not going to be enough for you to start planning right from the ground, from the beginning again. So guys, I hope you enjoy today's content. It's just to help you guys start earlier on instead of starting towards the end of your degree programs. You really should start on time. And if you like this video, hit the like button. You can also share this video to your friends who really want to travel to Europe, who want to pursue their studies, their degree programs, even their masters in Europe. And to even add to this today's topic, like I've met people who have been here in Hungary for years. I'm talking about up to 8 years, if I'm not making a mistake, up to 8 years. And they keep going from degree program to degree program. I don't want that to be your experience. Now it can be that you're on a scholarship program, but like, come on, how long do you want to be pursuing degree programs? You want to be out of the degree program and land a job and live a decent life. You don't want to find yourself in a spiral of degree program, roller coaster of degree programs to degree programs, because at the end of this program, you cannot find a job. Now you have to apply again to start another program so you can be in Europe. And at the end of that, you cannot find a job. You need to start right on time. This is why specialization is very important. This is why the moment you land in Hungary, the moment you land here or you land in Europe, you have to start looking for specialization routes, what kind of certification you can pursue, and you start right on time, so that before the end of your semester, you already you've already prepared yourself and you can start applying for jobs. And trust me, if you have certifications on your profile on LinkedIn or in your resume, let's say for example the Cisco CCNA or the CompTIA A plus or the CompTIA Security Plus, recruiters will be looking for you. Like it won't be as hard. It won't be hard for you compared to the other students, grads with just their university degree. So you want to prepare yourself heads on. And that is the end of today's topic and today's video. I'm sure that this video provide you with really great value, and I've recorded this video with my experience, from my experience, and I don't want you guys to repeat the same process, okay? Because it happens to almost every student. They go through the same process on and off, and nobody tells you until it is very late. So guys, that is it for today. So if you'd like to consult me to plan your studies in Hungary to any part of Europe, my link is on the description. You can also send me an email, and you can also reach me via WhatsApp if you follow the link on the description. So guys, if you like to study from next year of February, you have to start your applications. Most of the universities starts opening their application portal in October, where you can start your applications, and by December you should already be done with your visa application. So I offer various services, visa applications, and also if you would like to pursue your permanent residency here in Hungary, I can guide you and tell you the steps to follow and how to prepare for your permanent residency application and how you can go about it. So that's it for this video. Until the next video.